Hello guys, and welcome to my Red Dead Online settings and ergonomics guide. I've noticed that in general, people who like to play Red Dead Online often play this game for very long hours, especially after the lockdown. I easily see some of the subs on PSN who would go for 7+ hour sessions, so I decided to create this video to provide some tips and instructions in order for you guys to have the most comfortable settings and ergonomics as possible. This video will be very useful for both new and veteran players. First part is going to be the best controller settings, and then we will look at how to adjust your sensitivity settings to find the right fit for you. I used to play Red Dead Online with the standard and the standard FPS settings, but over some months I started getting loads of pain between my fingers and just a general discomfort in my hands, since I was very much forced to play with the so-called claw controls. Standard FPS 2 settings are going to move the sprint button to R1 on PlayStation and RB on Xbox. Standard FPS 2 might feel unnatural for you at the beginning, but trust me, you will thank me later after a few weeks. It will take some time and it might annoy you for a few days until you get used to the new controls, but it's worth it in the long run. No more having to be uncomfortable when running or horse riding. Now let's talk about the sensitivity settings. Since we don't really have the free aim lobbies in console, at least for now, always make sure to roam around with the wide lock-on settings in free roam. This will make the auto aim quite effortless to use, as you will instantly lock on to the nearest target when holding the left trigger. Next up is to find a comfortable sensitivity for third person and sniping. For third person, make sure to have your sensitivity and acceleration as high as possible. You want to make sure you can turn around really fast and move in a comfortable way when, for example, you hear a cougar behind you in the bushes or when you get attacked from behind by a player. For sniping and becoming a better shot in general, only adjust the first person settings. The third person sensitivity does not affect the scopes. For finding your personal best sensitivity, I suggest you to go to this tree on the map at Heartlands. It looks like a pair of boobs on the map, so you can always remember it. Here you will see loads of bottles hanging and placed next to each other. The way you can find the right sensitivity is to start with pretty much any sensitivity that you already have and then go for flick shooting on these bottles. So just aim next to them and then try to flick on them. If your shot lands after you go over the bottle, then you should probably tone it down a little bit. But if it lands before the bottle, then it's probably too slow and you need to bump it up a little bit. My personal recommendation is to have your sensitivity settings maxed out and only adjust the acceleration and dead zones using this flick shooting practice. Remember that lower dead zones would mean more responsiveness on your right analog stick. Another thing to remember is that each scope in this game has a different sensitivity. One setting might work for you with a long scope but might feel too fast when using the short scope, or the opposite. Another thing that I recommend is to go to accessibility settings on the control section and then change the tap assist to hold instead. Now when you have a struggle with another player, it will be much easier to defuse them. Now let's talk about your vision comfort. In the recent months, I've been on and off having issues with red and strained eyes when playing and streaming for long hours. I've noticed that many people in the Red Dead community also like to play and grind the game for very long hours, especially after the lockdown like I mentioned earlier. It is very important for you to make sure your room is always bright enough when playing. A simple solution I've found to this has been a BenQ's screen bar lamp. This lamp helps me to light up my desk and take some strain off my eyes when playing or making videos at evenings. It is easily set up and powered with a USB cable, and it's adjustable through the touch sensor controls above the lamp. You can manually switch the color temperature on it between warm and cool to fit your mood. Surprisingly, also this lamp does not cause any glaring on your screen and is completely glare free, meaning that it would not make it harder for you to see stuff in dark spots in games, unlike the traditional desk lamps. So consider checking it out in the video description. Also, if you like to play in the first person mode but you can't stand the shaky camera, go to the game settings under the camera section, and then underneath the first person part you can actually reduce the head bobbing. Now it should be a lot more bearable to play in first person mode, although some still consider it too shaky. And lastly, make sure you always have a water bottle right next to you to hydrate frequently. This can also help with the gamers who experience dry eyes often when playing. Sorry if this video became too much about personal health. I always try to keep my videos strictly gaming related, but I've personally experienced pain and discomfort recently because of gaming, and I thought maybe the least I could do would be to prevent it from happening to my viewers. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.